Posture concerns regularly bother many of my patients. The following video is created to help educate you on the topic and give you a couple day-to-day exercises and tasks to help alleviate the discomfort from these postures. Firstly, every person has their own normal posture. What may be a normal posture for one individual may be very different for another. So don't be worried as to what a friend or family member looks like. This is also why not everyone has a straight spine, and why mobility and movement are actually much more important than the actual curves of your spine. I also don't love the term straight spine. Instead, use the word neutral, because the spine is naturally far from straight. It has three natural curves: the cervical lordosis, the thoracic kyphosis, and the lumbar lordosis. It is important to know that your day-to-day activities play a huge role in helping avoid discomfort in these different curves of your back. And to help find your own neutral spine, the following exercises and activities can definitely help. Frequently, patients are coming to me and telling me they're sitting more and more often. And in a world where we are actually sitting more for work from home with meetings and such on computers, this is true. And honestly, if it wasn't for the chair, I probably wouldn't have a job, because the chair puts you in particular postures that cause discomfort in neck, mid-back, and headaches. As you go hours and hours in chairs, you start to slouch forward, the shoulders roll forward, the head comes anteriorly, and the chin juts, and we sit there for extended periods of time. This causes tension and tightness through the base of the skull, the shoulders, the mid-back, low back, causing discomfort and through all those, as well as headaches. So the number one tip, the first tip of these postural kind of ideas, is to get up out of that chair. So every 30 minutes, just stand up. You don't have to go for a long walk or run. Just get up, move, stretch, wiggle, dance, whatever. Just try to change the concrete position you've been in for an extended period of time. Now, there's a lot of little tips in this kind of realm to help cue you to get up. Phones, computers, watches even these days all have alarms or cues to signal you to get up every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever you set it to. Roughly every 30 minutes is a good gold standard. Additionally, little things around your office or home studio that can help are a smaller water glass or coffee mug. Don't get a large bottle, have a small one, which will force you to get up and go refill, changing those postures more frequently. Additionally, things that you require in a day-to-day, such as a printer, don't put it next to your desk. Put it at a walking distance, forcing you to get up out of the chair going to grab that piece of paper. Standing desks are a great option. They're good for variability. You don't always have to be standing either. You can use a standing desk for a short period of time, use a chair for a short period of time, and move back and forth. The second tip is to work on postural resets or cues to help alleviate those tension and discomfort. So, getting those shoulders back and down and that head above your body when doing different activities can go a long way. For example, when lifting an object, shoulders back and down, grab and lift and keep close to your body. When vacuuming, shoulder back and down and proceed with that activity. One little stretch or reset you can use is what's called the Bruegger's posture or Bruegger's stretch. With this, you're going to have shoulders back and down, depressed and retracted between the shoulder blades. Then the thumbs are going to go up. You're going to rotate, externally rotate the arms back, feeling a stretch through the front of the chest into the pectoral muscles. And then finally, you're going to chin tuck the head back and hold this position for approximately 10 to 15 seconds. Acts as a great reset through your day. I'm not asking you to do this for a long period of time, once or twice to get you out of those regular kind of problematic postures. The third tip is to have a good morning routine that involves mobility and movement. we'll go over a little bit of a neck and mid-back controlled articular rotation with a small neck exercise as well. For this, it shouldn't take more than a few minutes. I personally do about a 5-minute morning routine, a full body controlled articular rotation routine that I'll include in the description below. But more specifically for the postural variations we're talking about today, this will be including the neck and mid-back. So controlled articular rotations for the neck is a neck circle. Let your chin be the guide. You're going to go down, over to one shoulder, back around to the opposite, and to the front. And then you're going to repeat the opposite direction. Over the shoulder, and back down. Typically 5 each direction is a great morning option. You may get crickly cracklies, totally fine, that as long as they're not painful. If you do have painful points, avoid areas of discomfort. So if I went down and that hurt, I'm just going to avoid that one side and just do the opposite. The next, the mid-back or thoracic controlled articular rotations. You're going to give yourself a hug and you're going to try to do a rotation or circle through that mid-back, not the low back, mid-back. A lot of us can easily do the low, but the mid-back can be a little more difficult. So in this position, you're going to push that mid-back to the back of the ceiling, drop to one side, come back, over to the opposite, and forward. You're going to repeat the opposite direction, and forward. Over to the right. And as I said earlier, 5 each direction can go a long way in that morning routine. The final little exercise I believe can be very helpful is a deep neck flexor strengthening exercise. This is going to help the postural muscles of the neck avoid those poor postures that we find in those seated positions. So in this position with a flat surface, no pillow, you can lay in your bed or on the ground, you're going to chin tuck and lift that head, only about 1 centimeter or about 1/2 inch. You're going to lift, hold for approximately 2 to 5 seconds. If that is difficult, even just the lift and lower is good. You want to keep that chin tucked and only within that small range. The second people go further, you start to engage larger muscle groups that we don't want to. So the big do nots are don't lose that chin tuck, keep that chin down, and don't go further past that small 1 centimeter or so rise. Chin tuck, lift, hold, and lower. A couple sets of approximately 5 reps can go a long way in helping alleviate that discomfort from your postural issues. Well, that's about everything I got for the tips and tricks for my postural kind of ideas. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Thank you very much. All the best.